I think it's not a conscious choice that I've made to play law enforcement officers. But now you're not the first person to point that out today. And so I have to rethink the next time I get offered a role like this. Why do I really like playing these characters?
We're just overstretched. Yes, yes, of course we are. I was hoping to have the comm report today, but team needs more time.
The series starts off in Russia in the late 1970s, and that leads up to the 2001 Anthrax attacks. Why do you think it's important for us to revisit this event right now?
Uh, for a number of reasons. I think one is that in many ways, what's going on in the world and our respective countries right now parallels what happened during that time. In America, there was a catastrophic event that changed the way we view the world, and it put and it made us fearful. It made us question, and it made us feel vulnerable. And you can interchange 9/11 with COVID, and the two things, our reactions have been the same. And how we as a country dealt with it, I think, kind of back then reflects how we're dealing with COVID today and how we move forward in the future. I think we can take some lessons away from. And so I'm a big believer that we need to remember our history so that we can move forward to the future. And I think this kind of an event resonates today because there are a lot of parallels.
For sure. I was really thinking about COVID as well before you mentioned it. What are some lessons you want viewers to take away when they watch the show?
One thing about 9/11 that I thought was unique is that no matter where people were in the world, there was a sense of unity in that moment where we felt this is a tragedy that we need to find who did this, and the world, it felt, at least from America, that the world was uniting, and I think I think there can be a lesson in that, that it doesn't necessarily take a tragedy like that one for us to come together and recognize, how much we have in common. Each of our countries has had events, significant events, that have shaped our culture, and so we have that in common. And so I hope that people will see the universality of that theme and understand that, we can do things together. We don't have to be polarized. We don't have to scapegoat people. We don't have to be xenophobic. There are alternatives.
Great. The Hot Zone is your first series lead role after 31 years of acting in TV. What does this tell us about diversity and inclusion in Hollywood right now, and what does this mean to you?
It tells us a couple of things. Uh, it tells us that there's progress being made. The fact that I am the face of the FBI in in the telling of a story that's so important to the American culture and American society uh, says says that we're making progress. But it also says something else that's more important, I think, more significant and more important, and that is that nothing is guaranteed to any of us as actors. Some actors get their lead role right away, and they don't they take it for granted. They think that this is how it always will be. Some actors who are very talented, much more talented than I, will never get a chance to play a lead role, regardless of their race. So, it's something that nobody should ever take for granted. But so it makes me very appreciative and very grateful that even though it took 31 years, that I'm able to do this. And so I'm thankful for the producers and the network for giving me the chance.
Okay, great. I think we have time for one last question. So I'm going to ask you, how did you prepare for the role to play an FBI agent?
Um, I did a lot of reading about the actual attacks and the investigation. And I also spoke to a number of FBI agents who were active in the Bureau around that time. And so I asked them about their experiences, and some of them that I spoke to were Asian American. So I asked specifically about the experiences of being Asian American in an FBI that was predominantly white male. So it was really enlightening, and it was all of that was, I think, really good preparation for the role.
Wonderful. Great. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Thank you for your time, Daniel.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah. All the best.
Thank you. Take care.
Anthrax spores do not just die. They settle. They lie in wait. What we're talking about is a ticking time bomb. I saw it with my own eyes. Get out.
America has many enemies. I'm here to warn you. An attack is inevitable.
I need a team at Capitol Hill right now.
FBI, stand and calmly exit the building.
We've got a full-blown bioweapons attack on our hands.
I need you to catch who did this.
Even in a vacuum, how do you trust someone with the safety of our nation?
I think you're letting all this get to you.
I just think something's amiss.
I have to find who did this.
There are ways to protect ourselves.
I encourage everyone not to overreact here.
How bad is this?
It's 100% lethal. We can't afford to waste time.
What if the anthrax killer's one of us?